Hello, I'm Betty Moore-Hafter, and I'm greeting you from my office here in Burlington, Vermont, on the shores of Lake Champlain. So I would like to guide you in some EFT to show you the basic process. And what I'll be going through is a fairly standard version of tapping, with just one small exception. So as we start the process, what I like to have people do is to take a moment to really feel whatever it is that they want to work on. Really feel the effects in the body of that issue of yours. And if you're working on an emotion, really find that emotion. Where are you holding it? Throat, chest, stomach, or anywhere else. And once you have a pretty good awareness of this, go ahead and rate that on a scale from 0 to 10. How intense is that feeling? And now you're ready to tap. And the process consists of two parts. First of all, there is the setup. And we tap on the karate chop spot, the outside of the hand, and say 3 times, even though I have this emotion, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this emotion, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this emotion, I deeply and completely accept myself. That was the setup. Now you tap the sequence of points, and it starts at the beginning of the eyebrow. And as you tap the points, you state the problem. This emotion. Inside of the eye, this emotion. And you're on the temple bone over here, okay? And under the eye, like the top of the cheekbone, this emotion. And I'm mostly tapping with a couple of fingers. And then under the nose, this emotion. Under the mouth, just above the place where the chin juts out, this emotion. Take a nice breath anywhere through. Now the collarbone, right here, just under that bone, this emotion. And then the underarm point, about 4 inches down, this emotion. Now those are the 7 standard tapping points. There's an optional point, top of head, which I usually add, this emotion. So at the end of a round of tapping, I like for people to close their eyes and take a nice deep breath. And just sit with that and see how it feels. If you were tapping for a specific emotion, notice where it was held in the body. See if it has changed or transformed. See if it has diminished in intensity. And let's say you started with something about an 8. Maybe it's gone down to a 4. And the second round of tapping then changes the language just a bit. Even though I still have some of this emotion, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have some of this emotion, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have some of this emotion, I deeply accept myself anyway. So then as you tap the points, you can change the words just a bit and say, this remaining emotion. Inside of the eye, this remaining emotion. Under the eye, this remaining emotion. Under the nose, this remaining emotion. Under the mouth, this remaining emotion. Under the collarbone, this remaining emotion. Under the arm, this remaining emotion. And Again, this is optional, but I like to add that top of head, and you tap on the top, the crown part, but go a little to the right, a little to the left. I actually like to move my fingers, make it like gentle raindrops. This remaining emotion. Close the eyes, take a nice breath, and see how that feels. Now that is a very simple 2 rounds of tapping, and usually just going through that simple process a couple of times will really help things ease off. Notice if the emotion has diminished even more. Now something that often happens is that if you start with one emotion, it may diminish and something else rises up. Let's say I started with anger and it was really strong, and after a couple of rounds of tapping, I might find sadness coming up. The anger has diminished, but the sadness has emerged as if it were underneath, and that is one example of changing aspects. And so whatever arises, just tap again. You would then tap for the sadness. So I'd like to say just one thing about that optional point, the top of the head. It was added to EFT in, I think, 1998 by an acupuncturist. It was suggested, and for many of the EFT videos, if you watch them, you will see the top of head used. It's sometimes used at the beginning to be able to go top, down, down, down. I learned it actually at the end of that sequence, and I love that sense of integration of the right and left brain kind of stimulated there. It's also true that this in acupuncture is the 100 meeting point, where a number of meridians come together. And that's one reason I like it. It feels like a really good clearing. An acupuncturist friend of mine has told me that tapping on the top of the head really clears a lot of upper body tension. And in the Western world, we tend to get a lot of upper body tension because we're at our computers and we're working with our heads a lot. And so this is actually a wonderful tapping to do anytime. And making it soft like raindrops feels good. It's very soothing. I encourage you to look more deeply into EFT. The full foundational training is available at emofree.com. And what you will find is that there are variations. These days, some people are doing a liver point right under here. The original EFT recipe included finger points and something called the 9 gamut. But I would say that most people most frequently do a shortcut version, very much like the one that I just showed you. If you have any questions about EFT or would like more information from the way I do EFT, it's called Creative EFT. You can visit me at my website, creativeeft.com. Send me an email or give me a call if you would like. I'm always happy to chat and really want to do all I can to spread the gift of EFT.